My Hebrew brothers and sisters, the 12 tribes of Israel scattered all over the globe, welcome back. This is your Moreh Yeshua Ben Uriah Israel, and we just want to take this time to thank you for your comments, thank you for your subscriptions, and most of all, I thank you for your prayers. I have a comment, or two comments, made from a gentleman, and it would appears I read it, and I'll tell you what, I decided basically not to take the precious time that Yahuwah gives me to respond, to things that, as far as I'm concerned, is of no essential consequence. But for this one, I decided I was going to respond to it. Let me read what the comment is. I'm not going to call the name of the person that sent it, but I'm going to tell you what they wrote to me. He said, listen to what he said. And they were responding to the Shabbat, I think the Shabbat meditation. He said, Hebrew Israelites were white, not black. You claim to believe the Bible and yet reject what it testifies of. The ones taken into Assyria and Babylon were also white. Listen to this. The Book of Mormon also teaches they are white. Choose not to exalt yourself in lies, okay? And I think this one was written. That one was not. That one was not. Yeah. So listen. The second one that they said that they were from the quotation that they give here is that they were whiter than milk. They were more ruddy in body than rubies. Their polishing was of sapphire. There are other descriptions that also make the same point. And he said they were white. The Hebrew Israelite people were white. So I wanted to tell you what I wrote to them, okay? And I said to the person, generally, I do not take up precious time to argue about race. But in reading your comments, this is what I say. I think it warrants a response. The statements which you made do not prove your points that the original Jews were taken to Assyria in the captivity and Babylon captivity were white people. Abraham was from Ur, and all the peoples, were descendants of Ham's son, Cush. I'm talking about the people of Ur. They were descendants of Ham's sons, Cush and Shem, Eber. They were descendants. And they were black people, or they were dark-skinned, or what we refer to as Nubians people. The Hebrew Israelites are descendants of Jacob. And Jacob and his sons and their families, they went down into Egypt and spent over 400 years in Egypt, okay? And there in Egypt, they intermarried with Egyptians, and these Egyptian people, they were also Hamites, okay? They were Hamites. And we notice that the Hamite people were Nubians or they were black people. Okay? And when they returned into Canaan land, the land of promise, okay, when they returned into Canaan, which is now considered Israel, they were black people. I agree that, during the time of the captivity to Syria, the Babylonians, during the time of the captivity to Syria and Babylon, the leaders of the Assyrian and Babylonian empires, right? They placed Caucasian or white people from Spain, which in the scripture refer to them as this from Sephara, from where we get the Sephardic Jews. Okay? And so they were from different countries, from Spain and different countries, that were placed over the Jews, the original black Jews, that were left back into the land, both in the northern kingdom, my brothers and my sisters, and also the southern kingdom. They were left back there to take care of the vineyards. And then the white people that they set over them are the Caucasian people that they set over them, the people from foreign countries. They were rulers over them, okay? They were rulers over them. And so it is important to know that these people, that the people from Sephara, are the Sephardic people, they converted to what they call Judaism now. And it is when 650 to 700 AD, when some other Caucasian white people from Turkic descent, okay, and they came from the Caucasian mountain and those places, when they converted through war, they converted to Judaism. And from where now we call them the Ashkenazi Jew. And then we have the Sephardic Jew. So these are the two main groups of people that we have in Israel right now. Okay? So when this brother is talking, I agree with him that during the captivity, at the time of the captivity to the Assyrian Empire, the Babylonian leaders and the Assyrian leaders, they placed Caucasian people over the Hebrew Israelite black people to rule over them, because those were the poor people, okay, that was left in the land to take care of vineyards and to do the menial tasks that would supply the Assyrian and the Babylonian people with goods, with grapes and with grains. Okay? And so these Jews were left there to take care of the vineyards, as I mentioned before. And some of these people were converted to Israel, converted to being Israelites. That some of the people, the people of Sephara, they were converted to be Israelites. They start doing things. As a matter of fact, when they came in the early stage, they were doing sacrificial ministry, right? They were not called for that. Some of them were getting sick and dying. They have to send back. In 2 Kings, we see where they have to send back to the leaders and ask them to send people that they took from Israel to come and teach them how to worship God. That's what the term in the King James Version said, right? Because they did not know they're taking upon themselves something that did not belong to them. Something that did not belong to them. So we know that it's between 650 to 700 AD, right around that time, when these Turkic people, people from Uzbekistan or whatever they call it, those countries, they were converted to Judaism. And so now we have the two sect of people in Israel, you know, that have this Sephardic type of Judaism, and you also have the Ashkenazi people who have their way also. So we have these two main group, okay? The Ashkenazi Jews and the Sephardic Jews. The Gentile white people oppress and abuse us for centuries, my brothers and my sisters. And Christianity participated in helping to hide the truth from all peoples. That means even some of their own people, the truth was hidden from them. Here, for example, I'm going to give you this example here. And listen to this. The Gadites are black people, right? They are black people. They are of the 10 tribes. They are one of the 10 tribes of the Northern Kingdom, right? And they live in the Gadarenes, are the Gerasenes. If you remember the story where Yeshua went in there and two men, you know, were demon possessed, and he cast all the devils, put them into swine, and the swine ran down into the water, you know, and drown themselves. Okay, but for many years, right? Okay? We were told that the people, the Gadarene peoples, they were Gentile people. There may be some Gentile people living around there, I don't know. But we know that the name from the area got the name from the tribe. Okay? Now, the thing is that I don't know where this young man, well, I shouldn't say I don't know where, because he did quote the Book of Mormon, so I'm not knocking their religion or anything like that, but if that's what they have in there, their teaching is wrong. Okay? If that's what they have in there, that, you know, a matter of fact, I shouldn't say if that's what they have in there. I should know that that's what they got in. Because I've dealt with people from that group. I've been in Salt Lake, okay? I've been in Salt Lake City. And I remember, as a Southern Baptist missionary, we were up in a place called Ogden in Utah. Let me tell you about Ogden. Ogden is a city where, when they were building the railroad from the east to the west, right? Those who they built the railroad from the west coming east, and then build the railroad from the east going west. And they joined right there in Ogden. That's the story of that city. I learned that while we were there, because we did what we call crossover there. And I talked with quite a few people there and witnessed to quite a few of the Mormon people. And so that city is built up with I think it's one of the most racial populated people of every group of people you can think about right there in Ogden. Okay, it's Spanish, you know, dark-skinned people, black people, Chinese, Korean, white people, and everybody just one most racial made-up city, all right? But let me say this, my brothers and my sisters, that we were oppressed for years because the truth was not given to us. And Christianity, that's supposed to be a good religion, right? It helped to hide some of this truth from us. And not only from us, but from them. This is why they're so ignorant, you know, of the truth, okay? And now we are at this point now where we're finding out some of these lies, and we're correcting it. And let me say this. Some of the Anglo people, the Caucasian people, they know the truth. They know that we are of the original Israelite. And some of them don't bother to even fight it because they know that they'll be fighting a losing battle. They can't prove anything else, right? And by trying to fight it, it's going to bring up wounds, stuff that some of them don't want to face, okay? And I'm saying this, I'm bringing this to you. I'm saying this so that you can learn how to defend your heritage, the heritage that was given to us. We must learn how to defend it. My time is gone, my brothers and my sisters. And I must say, today, be a blessing to someone and walk with the King. Shalom.